What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
My first long-term boyfriend told me that he wasn't worried about me cheating on him because I was too ugly for anyone else to want to be with. I mean, he was right, but it still hurt.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
This is so good. I forgot. I forgot about this. My ex told me to go look at something on his Snapchat story. He's like, babe, go look. It's so funny. Haha. I tagged your friend in it because whatever. It looks like her dad. And I went to look and I was like, I can't see your story. So he goes to look and he's like, babe, you're on my blocked list. I don't know how that happened. Like, Snapchat must have glitched or something. And I was like, you work in IT. You know that's not how that happened. But then we still dated for several months after that.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
All right, John, I'm about to hit you with some wildly specific red flags. And I'm not talking about your normal, is Wolf of Wall Street his favorite movie kind of red flags. No, I'm talking about things that I have encountered multiple times with multiple different men, and they have all meant terrifying things. I'm talking, does he leave his car on while pumping gas? Red flag. Does his name have either too many letters or not enough letters? I'm talking Jeff with a G, Connor with one N, John with no H. Red flag. Has he seen every episode of Game of Thrones but thinks watching the Harry Potter movies is too much of a commitment? Red flag. Y'all are gonna come for me on this one, but does he drive a Jeep? Every man I've ever been involved with that drove a Jeep ended up being an asshole. So for me, that is a massive red flag. Does he voluntarily drink Rumple Mints? Yeah, run, screaming, I could make 1,000,000 of these.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
I was messing with a girl who had tons of red flags. The first of which is she was very indecisive and never knew what she wanted. The second of which is she had 2 kids by 2 different men and she was in constant baby daddy drama. The third of which is that she wanted me to have all these things in my life, but she didn't have them herself. Like, how you gonna make fun of me for not having a car and you're taking the bus? How you gonna lecture me on saving money when you don't even have a job? The fourth thing is that she tried to play me like she was out of my league, but she wasn't doing any better in life than what I was doing. I was in college and I had a job. She was literally just doing nothing. The fifth thing is that she bitched at me because I wouldn't take her on a date and court her accordingly, but she kept telling me to my face, I'm emotionally unavailable and I don't even want to go there with you. So what's the point in taking you anywhere? And lastly, she was very entitled. Like in our little situationship, she thought it was my job to put in all the effort and do everything, and all she had to do was literally just show up and look cute. And that wasn't cool.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
All right, y'all, I've been waiting on this one. Here we go. So this was in the late 90s. I was living in Atlanta and I was dating this guy that I met at church. Beautiful man, just beautiful. Anyway, he was also so cool to hang out with, just so talented. So we had been dating for quite some time. And one night he asked me, could he stay over? And I'm like, sure, you can stay over, because I was being fast, right? So the next morning he gets up and he goes to the bathroom, and then I get up and I go to the bathroom. But I noticed when I got in there that my makeup bag was sitting on the counter and it was open. So when I come out of the bathroom, I asked him, I said, hey, did you by any chance get into my makeup bag? And he was like, no, like offended, like seriously offended. Y'all, when I tell you I never noticed it before, but I noticed it that morning, his eyebrows were beat to the gods. Better than mine. Just beautiful.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
So this isn't specifically about me, but this is about a lot of friends that I've had that have this same red flag. So a lot of my close friends, when they date guys and they tell me that the guys have bad hygiene in any way, like his breath stink, he's musty, he just has a weird smell to him, they don't feel like he takes really good showers, like his teeth look gritty, or he in any kind, shape, or way or form has bad hygiene, 9 times out of 10 he has STD. And 9 times out of 10 he doesn't know he has an STD. Literally, I had one friend, her boyfriend was always stinking. She said never took showers, breath was stinking. He had 3 STDs, come to find out. Another friend, same situation. The guy she was dating, he had bad hygiene, was always sweaty, little sack down there was smelling all nasty and shirty, and he had STD too. So, ladies, if a man has bad hygiene, be careful because he probably has an STD too.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
I have learned this lesson the hard way a couple of times, but baby gays. Extremely happy for you. Okay, honestly, what it comes down to is we dated in 2020, which should tell you everything that you need to know about what kind of mental space we all were in. And yeah, we just learned after about 6 or 7 months that we both genuinely just were not in a place, like we just were not in the same place. We both were on different parts of our journeys, and that's totally cool. It is what it is. And that's why I really have no judgments or hard feelings about it. I just know it's a boundary for me because, it just is what it is. You're at different points, and I accepted that, so yeah.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
I had probably been dating this person like 6 months, and I came home from going to the movies with my friends, and I had drank fruit punch. And it was the kind that was like really sugary and syrupy, the really, really unhealthy one. And I didn't have any ice in it, so it was like super concentrated. And I continued drinking it on my way home. I get in the door, and I don't have the drink with me anymore. And he says to me, "You went out drinking. I smell the mixed cocktails on you." To which I was like, "No, you knew I was at the movies with my friends. I had fruit punch." He got so pissed off that he started packing his stuff to move out. And I stood there begging him to stay. And because he kept insisting I was lying, I had to make up a story saying, yeah, I stopped at a bar. I saw an ex and I was depressed. Also, he would stay and not leave me for having fruit punch at the movies with my friends. I had to lie and say I went out drinking. Huge red flag.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
Despite the fact that he had his own car, one day he asked to borrow mine. He gave it back to me later on that day. The next day was Monday, so I had to drive to work. I have a 40-minute commute to work. So in the midst of my drive, my gas light comes on. I'm like, what is this? I called him and said, my gas light just came on. He says, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you needed gas. This tell me he had absolutely no intention of putting gas in my car when he took it. Throughout our 3-year relationship, come to think of it, he never bought gas in my car. He also wasn't my boyfriend. I had his last name.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
So the first red flag was when I found his crack pipe, which honestly, I'm not even hating, but it was just the fact that he told me he was clean because we were both trying to recover from our addictions. But yeah, the second red flag was when I found his prison papers from prison. Not even hating on anyone that goes to prison, but the third red flag was when I googled what he went to prison for, and it was a little bit close to home for me. It was a domestic incident, and I was like, peace.
What is a red flag that you should not have ignored about someone you were dating?
Okay, so this was like 7 years ago. I had started dating a guy, really excited about it. We had fun together. We spent a lot of time together, and my parents liked him. Like, my friends a lot of them didn't meet him yet, but those that did, they were like, oh, he's really cute and he's nice and funny and blah, blah, blah. So I lived far away from my parents, kind of, like where I didn't see him often. And so me and my mom love crime shows. So my mom came to have like Dateline night with me. And I told him, I'm like, okay, well, I'll call you when it's over, or you could text me or whatever. But like, I'll be hanging out with my mom. And so he's like, oh, no problem. Like, have fun. And I was like, okay, cool. Thanks. So about 20 minutes into my evening with my mom, I get a text message from him. And the text message said like 2:15, 24, and like 57. And that's it. Just those numbers. And so I'm like, what is this? And so I text him because I'm like, maybe he texted the wrong person. It looks kind of like a combination or something. So I text him and I'm like, what's that? And he's like, figure it out. And I'm like, is he pissed about something? Like, what is this? Had no clue. And so I'm sitting there trying to figure this shit out. And I'm like, Mom, I was like, does this sound familiar? And she's like, I don't know what that is. And so he texts me and he goes, you still don't know? And I was like, no. I said, enlighten me. And so he goes, on Instagram, you have 2 pictures of me and you, 15 pictures of your ex with your family, and 24 pictures of your cat, and 57 pictures of you and your best friend. And I'm like, what? I was like, did this fool really go on here and count my pictures? And yeah, he definitely did. And was so serious. It was like, you only have 2 pictures of us. Like, I can't believe that. I'm like, we've been dating like 2 months. Yeah, I should have definitely paid attention to that because it was all downhill from there.